Welcome back. This is Escape the Money Trap, financial literacy for young adults. I'm the Money Dad, and I'm here to teach you the money skills that society keeps hidden so you can take control of your financial future. We discussed what wealth really is. Now let's get in the right frame of mind about money. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you have to get angry about money. People are trying to drag you down, to sink you. You need to put a face on the forces that are trying to keep you from achieving your dreams. I want you to visualize your worst enemy. Who is the person you know who wants you to fail? The person who would laugh at your mistakes? The person who talks bad about you to other people? I'm going to discuss the 5 money enemies in your life, and whenever I do, I want you to see the face of your worst enemy. You might think this is a corny concept, but your enemies are a collection of real people at real companies. There are entire industries that don't care about you, that want to extract all your money. You just can't see them. They're invisible to you. That's why I want you to put a face on these destructive forces, so you stay focused. They want you broke. Are you going to let your worst enemy do that to you? So here's the 5 different money enemies. Number 1, advertising and social media. 2, credit card companies. 3, car salespeople. 4, the financial industry. And 5, your own ego. So let's jump right into the first one with the advertising and social media enemy. You might think these are 2 separate things, but this is one enemy using the same tactics. The advertising social media enemy tells you that you aren't good enough. You're insufficient. Look at all these people with all these nice things. They have them. Why don't you have them? This could be TV commercials, online ads, social media posts, TikTok influencers. Do you know how much companies spend on advertising every year? $350 billion. And just to give you an idea of how big that is roughly the same amount that every man, woman, and child spends on clothing and shoes every year. It is the size of the entire economy of a mid-sized country. This enemy isn't spending all this money because it doesn't work. And here's how it destroys your financial life. They make it look easy to be rich because being rich is just looking rich. They don't show you what's behind the scenes. High credit card debt, worrying 24/7 if you can pay your rent, car payments, and utilities, getting in fights with your partner about spending, not being able to provide a future for yourself, let alone your kids. Here you can see some financial metrics for all Americans. The average person has $7,200 in credit card debt. The median total of savings and investing combined are only $8,000. Since this is a median, that means 50% of people are below this number. Think about that for a second. The median is $8,000 of savings and investments. And this is data from all people of all ages, not just young people. If an emergency occurs, that could disappear in the blink of an eye. And finally, on the third line, you see the percentage of people living paycheck to paycheck is somewhere between 35 and 60%. It depends on the source, but let's say it's around 50% of people who run out of money just as they're getting their next paycheck. There's no extra money at the end of the month. I'm not being critical of Americans. As I've said, nobody teaches you about personal finance. But what I want to say is something isn't matching between what we see on social media and advertising and what is really happening with finances behind the scenes. I bet the people with high credit card debt look great on social media with their nice cars and lavish vacations. So yes, you see the nice things on social media, but you don't see the financial distress most people are in. Are you going to be drawn into this trap too? For the vast majority of wealthy people, it took work to get there. Social media and advertisers don't show you the daily discipline it really takes to get rich. It's not very thrilling to show someone working 9 to 5, making sensible purchases and saving money every month. Money enemy number 2, credit card companies. This enemy wants you to think you can buy whatever you want. Remember, put your worst enemy's face on this. Now he's telling you, hey, this is easy. You spend $2,000 and your minimum payment is only $40 a month. Everyone else is doing it, and now they have better clothes than you. Are you going to be foolish enough to believe he has your best interest in mind? That this is easy money? And here's how it destroys your financial life. This enemy lures you into a trap. You don't have enough money to pay for something in full, but hey, that minimum payment seems super manageable. So what do? You get lured into some more spending and then some more, until eventually you go from a $2,000 balance to a $10,000 balance. So why is that so bad? Hey, it's $10,000. That sounds big, but I'll just take my time and pay it off in the years ahead. Well, it's not only that your minimum payment would be $200 a month, that's bad enough, but the real problem is that at the minimum payment, it will take you 142 months or 12 years to pay it off. And you'll pay $18,000 in interest in addition to the $10,000 you spent. Are you going to let your worst enemy steal twice the money you originally paid? Money enemy number 3, car salespeople. This enemy tells you that nobody will respect you if you buy a simple used car. A Honda Civic, a Toyota Corolla, you're going to look poor. You need a car that people respect. Your worst enemy is going to tell you that you're too insecure, so you should show off with a luxury car. So how does this destroy your financial life? Along with paying too much for rent or mortgage, cars are the #1 budget killer. And unlike a house, a car always goes down in value. So while you pay it off over the years, your car is worth less and less. As a matter of fact, for a long time while you're paying off your car, the car is worth less than the total amount you owe. Eventually you have it paid off, and by that time it's hardly worth anything. What should that tell you? It should tell you it's a horrible thing to spend a lot of money on. Also, the more expensive your car, the more its total cost of ownership is. You pay more in interest, more in insurance, more in tax, more in maintenance and repair. Your worst enemy would love that. And they would love if you would see your car as a status symbol and not just a functional machine to get you from place to place. He would love it if you were sinking yourself with a $500 a month car payment. And remember, the typical car loan term is 5 years. When you buy a car, it is a 5-year commitment that you cannot get out of, at least not without a ton of cash. Let's do a quick calculation. Over all your earning years, if you decided against that $500 a month payment and went with a $300 a month payment instead, and then you invested that $200 difference every month, you would have $1.1 million over 40 years. Your worst enemy would hate to see that. Money enemy number 4 is the financial industry. This enemy wants you to think that you're too dumb or too poor to invest on your own. He wants you to think that only rich people who go see fancy advisors in mahogany paneled offices can invest. And the financial advising industry wants you to think you can't do it without them. It's too complicated for you. Investing is for rich people who work with advisors in rooms like this. Think of investing as your money working a job for you. So you're working a job and your money is working a job. If you never have your money working for you, if you keep thinking investing on your own is too scary, you'll never be financially secure. You'll never get wealthy with just your job and a bank account. Your worst enemy doesn't want you to know about the power of investing a little bit of money and how simple it is. I don't care how little you invest at first. If you just take $25 from each paycheck, so $50 a month, invest it and keep doing that for 40 years, you will have $320,000, $250,000. And that's just $25 from each paycheck. It doesn't take much if you start early. We will talk more about that later in this series. Money enemy number 5, your own ego. This one is the boss of the first 3 enemies: advertising, social media, credit card, and car salespeople. This one is the voice in your head that says that you have to appear rich now. It tells you that you can't handle the judgment of other people who don't even really matter. And the other money enemies depend on you being weak and insecure. Because when you're weak and insecure, you make bad decisions with your money. And your worst enemy loves to see you poor. Remember those numbers I showed you on how the majority of Americans are in financial distress? That is people letting their egos get away from them. spending what they don't have to inflate their own self-worth. Think about this. Which takes more strength and more character? Succumbing to all the temptations to look wealthy? Or having the discipline to not care what people think so you can be wealthy? Discipline is real strength, not driving a BMW that you can't afford. So, those are the 5 money enemies. If you keep these in mind and don't fall for their traps, you will be in a money-making mind frame. Remember, check your ego at the door. If you do that, the rest will fall into place. And whenever things get hard and you're feeling insecure, put a face on that money enemy, the person in your life who wants the worst for you. In the next video, we'll discuss the 4 steps to your wealth building journey.